Global Tourism Resilience Day 2025, One Voice, One Change. Today, as we mark Global Tourism Resilience Day 2025, we unite under the theme, One Voice, One Change, to explore how resilient tourism is shaping a more sustainable future for Africa. From community-led initiatives to innovative policies, African nations are redefining tourism, turning challenges into opportunities for growth, conservation, and cultural empowerment. Join us on mixitv.com.ng as we take a closer look at resilient tourism for sustainable development in Africa, a journey of adaptation, transformation, and impact. Tourism is more than an industry. It is a lifeline, a bridge to opportunity, and a driver of resilience. In Africa, it connects people, cultures, and economies, shaping a future built on sustainability and inclusivity. Today, on Global Tourism Resilience Day, we bring you voices that define and drive resilient tourism. In a continent rich in diversity, tourism holds the power to create lasting change. But what does resilient tourism mean? Chief Abiodun Odusenwo, President of the Institute of Tourism Professionals of Nigeria, ITPN, shares insights on the role of resilience in Africa's tourism landscape and its impact on the global tourism ecosystem.
Tourism has been able to survive so many industrial evolutions. When you're talking about a common and persistent sector, it is tourism, because there are so many aspects and angles to it. There are always unusual some aspects that continue to promote tourism. The world nowadays is quite different in terms of increase in connectivity, increase in mobility, and diverse nature of many people now living across so many nations regardless of their original nationality or residence. Example really we can refer to are those activities being assisted by trade groups, economic groups within the world, such as ECOWAS, AU, EU, and other organizations, even the African Union. These have actually permitted the mobility and movement of people away and outside their original place of birth. This has also promoted the resilience of tourism. We have large number of persons, individuals, going on pilgrimage, for example, people going to for study tours. This has now brought in the resilience of the tourism. It has brought in cultural embracement across many sectors. It has allowed the society to be more tolerant and appreciative of each other's comparative cultures and competencies and preferences. With tourism also, people are actually large. Everywhere you go, we always have a chunk community of citizens outside that country who now they have their own kind of enclave for existence. We have an Indian community, African community, and also the issue of diplomatic presence as well in many countries also push and promote the resilience of tourism. It is very clear that no country can live in isolation. No country is an island. It is therefore essential that we promote tourism as a way of promoting, governance, community engagement, community cohesion. In fact, if we look at recently the Grammy Awards, for example, it now covers so many nationalities. Gone are the days when some of those awards are specifically for people of particular economy. Now we now see awards generally over many countries, awarding people different occupations, different endeavors. So these are some of the reasons why we are now promoting and encouraging people to now operate outside their own environment so as to encourage tourism sustainability. Our institute, this of Third President of Nigeria, has been involved in capacity building, ensuring that those who are actually practicing tourism ensure that the quality of services are received or rendered to clients, guests, travelers are actually of very good standard.
Otoni Ofangi, A Ugandan local tourism advocate and climate-friendly travel proponent, tourism is a vital part of the country's economy. He emphasizes the need for a strong commitment to forest conservation and for travelers to respect and integrate with local cultures and nature. But how do we ensure sustainability in the face of global shocks? Tourism in Africa has faced numerous global shocks. The COVID-19 pandemic initially brought the industry to a standstill, while insurgency, poaching, deforestation, and banditry have threatened domestic and foreign tourism in countries like Nigeria and Mali for over a decade. How do we overcome these challenges?
We are resilient. If I look at the background to the pandemic, COVID-19, Africa was expected to lose a lot of lives. But thanks to our weather, our climate, our people, our soils, we were able to wade through this pandemic. And that is a lesson that we need to protect our heritage, our wildlife species, our forests, our rivers. In Uganda, we have some forests like Bugoma forests, which have been encroached by mafias who are, in the name of sugar plantations. But this is destroying our forests, reducing our biodiversity, and obviously, the value of forests towards as carbon sinks. And also because there are wildlife corridors between our forests and our parks and our tourism circuits. Now that reduces our gene strength of the animals because they have to migrate from place to place. Now, as a responsible tour and environment or conservationist, who is promoting tourism, we have to target tourists that look at value over volume. This may not necessarily mean luxury tourists, but the tourist who is very sensitive towards the livelihoods of the host communities, the traveler who is going to immerse themselves into the lives of a local Muganda, who's going to get a totem, a pet name like Mukasa, Musoke, Nabanja. Now, once they get those kind of pet names, they'll also get totems. My totem, for example, is the colobus monkey. The Bagandas, one of their totems is the pangolin, which is highly an endangered species on the CITES Appendix 1. That means it is critically endangered. Now, if that was my totem, I'd make sure that the habitat of the pangolin is protected, the forests, the rivers, and that would also be sending a message to our contribution towards saving the environment and our heritage. As Africa, as a nation, we also need to learn to
tourism across Africa and the world. Sustainability in tourism depends on capacity building, value chain development, and human resource empowerment. A resilient tourism industry prioritizes sustainability, inclusivity, and innovation, recognizing that tourism is a fusion of people, technology, culture, and natural resources.
Sustainability of tourism is dependent of those who are providing services, professionals within the tourism space. For tourism to be sustainable, all operators, including the institutional framework, need to be there. In terms of all those who are traveling, need to be seamless. The provision of adequate information for travelers. Then ensuring that there's connectivity between all those cultures, heritages, miles, all those places that people are going to visit. It needs to be sustainable. And in Africa, we are very lucky in that the homogeneous nature of African culture, there is no single African country the same. So therefore, we have reasons, there are things to engage to ensure that we benefit from another. Even despite the fact that we have economic communities of states, still there are reasons, opportunities. Because there are some few cultural and styles that are peculiar to every state. So therefore, in terms of cultural exchanges, even if, for example, we do the same thing, is there a particular form of dance, for example, but then it's being danced differently by different cultures.
A resilient tourism industry prioritizes sustainability, inclusivity, and innovation, recognizing that tourism is a fusion of people, technology,
and our heritage. As Africa, as a nation, we also need to learn to have free movement. We had the Yamoussoukro Declaration. What did it say? Open skies. But why should an aircraft have to pay to fly the open skies, traveling from Uganda to Nigeria, to pay Congo, Gabon, Cameroon? We should actually walk the talk. Why should we have to pay visas to cross to Congo, where my grandmother comes from? My Jaluo brothers in Kenya. Why should, we have a single visa, and that's a very good example. For tourists, they should be able to also live in lodges, buy local, and then look at living spaces where there is recycling, reducing, and also reusing, energy saving in the circular economy. Lastly, as a sustainable people, we need to guarantee that as a generation, we leave this earth as our forefathers left it for us in the good way. And also guarantee that our needs are met without reducing the needs of our future generations to meet theirs. That way we'll be a stronger Africa. For God.
Advocacy to action, every voice in tourism matters. Together, we can build a resilient tourism ecosystem that uplifts communities, preserves nature, and inspires generations. On this Global Tourism Resilience Day 2025, let's celebrate the power of tourism to transform lives. We call on all stakeholders to join hands in shaping a sustainable future for Africa and the world. #Tourism Resilience, #Sustainable Africa, #One Voice, One Change.